I checked my email and it said my rent going up an extra $300. Why the rent going up? Y'all ain't air freshener in here. Can you bring me an air freshener and then charge me a little more? I can't do an extra $300. Y'all ain't did nothing extra. Well, I gotta do something extra. If you can come in here sweep and mop or something, I might think about it. I'm sitting here paying you more money for the same floor. This is the same floor. Carpet turning dirty. Can you come clean the carpet? If y'all come clean the carpet, I'll think about renewing. I've been putting the work order for this same stove for 3 months, and you telling me you want some more money? Y'all finna start including another service or something that come with a maid or a butler. Can you bring me a can of Febreze, a spray of Febreze or something? And then I think about it. Y'all ain't did nothing. The grass high. Y'all ain't got nobody cutting the grass no more. What am I giving y'all extra money for? Is the water finna be included? Y'all gonna start including utilities and lights? What you gonna do for the extra money that y'all putting on this rent? What y'all gonna do for it? Come power spray wash this house. How about that? Come power spray it down and wash it. Y'all don't even know the property's still here. I need a whole new weather strip at the bottom of my door. That hanging down there. Can you break a weather strip? Can you come over here and paint the wall? You want to come paint? Can y'all do that? You want extra money? You got to do some extra work. I ain't finna renew a thing. You know what? You take your renewal letter and eat it. I ain't renewing nothing.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I tell you, some people just have a way of making things funny. That was funny, but it's not a laughing matter for a lot of people. What are we talking about? Rent, the cost of rent across the country. There have been increases, and I hate to tell you this, but it's going to continue to happen. And so today we want to review a couple of videos. I want to give you some insights, some options that you might be able to implement if you want. And more importantly, just want to hear what it is that you have to say on the matter. I tell you what, a lot of people feel the way that this gentleman, this skit, whatever you want to call it, pointed out. You feel like you're paying, 17, 18, 19. Some folks are paying already $3,000 a month. And the reason I mention that number is because if you watch this video here, I spoke about rents heading in that direction. Again, some of you are already paying, but you feel like when you're paying that amount of money, what are you actually getting for the service? And what you're getting is the shelter. It's not a partner of yours. It's not a husband or wife of yours. They're not your parents. You're paying to live in the home, and the lease spells out what it is that the landlord is and isn't going to do. Now, before you get upset and your emotions start running, don't shoot the messenger. It is what it is. I'm just here bringing these things to your attention, again, to get you to think and to provide some solutions. More importantly, to help you understand what's going on, because your feelings don't matter. They really don't. No one's coming to save you, in my opinion. So we have to work through these things together and help those of you who can not absorb another increase. Now, that was a funny skit. This next gentleman, a little more serious, a little more real life. Want to get into his story, and then we'll be back after he finishes his piece. Hi, my name is Robert, and on this channel, we simplify the home loan process.
I am upset, okay? So I got home, got my mail, got my rent increase notice, going up to $2,500. A single dad with 3 kids, $2,500. What are you going to do with this money? You've done nothing in 10 years. The bathroom heater still doesn't work. I asked multiple times for better insulation in the walls because the electric bill's insane. There's still a tree waiting to fall and kill us all. Nothing has been done to this house in 10 years. And I can't paint the walls. I can't do any of the regular maintenance because that violates the lease. But you're not doing it. My original goal when I moved into this house 10 years ago at $1,495, that's now going to be $2,500, was to buy my own house and get out from under this landlord crap. Instead, I've paid the enormity of somebody else's mortgage. I paid that, and they've done nothing All that they did was have the down payment and the credit rating. That's all they did. They signed the papers. I moved into the house immediately. They've done nothing. I can't keep doing this alone. And apparently I can't seem to find the right thing to do it with someone. What is the answer? Should we just start robbing banks at random to pay landlords? This is stupid. This is why people are angry at the system. My landlord is not even like some equity company. It's some lady who decided to move to Costa Rica because, she couldn't handle the Republican government being Republicans, but she's so liberal, she squeezes her tenant every year. Squeezes you.
So as I was saying, real life situations, real emotions, and respectfully, sir, the deal is this, man. Down payment and credit really get you into a home. And it doesn't take as much as a lot of people think it does. Secondly, let me say this. I'm not, happy or jovial about your situation. Sounds like you're really struggling. Shout out to you for taking care of your kids, and not doing what a lot of other folks do and bail out on them. But you said something very key. It takes two. It takes two, man, especially nowadays. So did a video just the other day about divorce. And if you can at all possible work it out, go in the other room, especially when you have time, children, and things of that nature involved, because it's hard out here by yourself. That said, you can't get mad at people when they're conducting business. And a lot of you guys have a hard time understanding that you don't have to stay in that home. You can move somewhere else. But I gather that your kids probably like the schools. You probably like the schools that they're going to. The stability is there. You've been there a long time, what we call, laying down roots. And the alternative is you could probably find a less expensive place, but you don't want to live there. And that's what a lot of folks aren't realizing when I do these videos and I see some of these silly comments. If rent is $300, do you want to live there? I'll just say that. Maybe you don't, especially if you have kids. So it's unfortunate. Again, I hope things change for you and you figure it out. But for those of you watching, again, man, when is the best time to own something? Yesterday. Why yesterday? Because costs continue to go up. As he just said, I'm thinking back just Thursday of this new year and dealing with an application, and the applicant been paying $1,800, a month, 6-7 years. That's a lot of money that you've paid towards somebody else's mortgage. Well over $150,000. And so you do what you want to do, but what you can't do is complain on the other end. Choices. Got to make the right choice. So for you, probably need to come down in house, because sounds like your landlord is going to keep going up. And why? Because regardless of what you guys are hearing, there's not a ton of homes for rent or to buy. And just because you don't like the price doesn't mean that it's coming down, because there's a shortage. There's a lot of people that want to live in certain areas. And even in the areas, in this case, doesn't sound like the landlord's doing a whole bunch of extra. Again, not my business practice, but caveat emptor, buyer beware. Now, let's move forward, because one of the cities that a lot of people were talking about that was going to crash last year in the great state of Texas, the capital, in fact, let's see how the renters there fare when dealing with leases. Let's check it out.
Let's talk real fast. If you're moving, let's talk real fast about what to expect in a lease nowadays. First of all, the rent's never as much as they say it is. If they say it's $1,250, especially in Austin, Texas, it's base $1,250, but if you want to park anywhere on the premises, it's another $50. And then, oh yeah, about that mandatory trash fee that you gotta pay. That's another $25 a month. And then you have to think about the mandatory valet trash fee, another $25 on top of it. Not to mention bills. Oh yeah, that's all through us too. You have to mandatorily pay for the most expensive Wi-Fi, which like fine, $100 a month. Little steep. Not to mention the $45 processing fee. Processing fee to pay for my rent. So that $1,250 rent that looks so good turns into $1,670 real fast.
So as you can see, man, it's a business. When I say that, a lot of you guys get upset. You think I'm being curt and rude or condescending. I'm not. Just telling you the truth. It's a business. Here's the deal, especially for a lot of you guys that are thinking in the comment section, hey, move to this state or move to this city because rent is low, until a lot of people come that way. Here's a little insider information. Say it's winter time, things are slow because most people are going to be moving in spring, summertime, or renewing leases at that time. That's just the natural course of things. As a landlord, I might take a little less to get you in. Just like she was saying there in Austin, there's a lot of beautiful apartment complexes and things of this nature. Do you really think that your rent is not going to go up? It's a business. So they'll lower the rent to get you in, and then renewal time, rent's going up. But in between time, they're going to a la carte you to death. You heard all the fees that she was talking about, everywhere from parking to animal potty parks, pooping parks. It's a business. And the way commercial real estate works is as soon as I can increase the rents or the net operating income of the business, then the value of the property goes up. Different from residential, right? Residential, it's about home sales, appreciation, so on and so forth. But that's why you're being charged all of these fees. And it's been like that forever. You may just be experiencing it. So here's the deal. You're going to pay for your mortgage or someone else's. It's fine. You could do what you want to do, but don't be naive about it. Okay? If you choose to rent, understand that the business owner or owners, depending on who you're dealing with, may or may not do any capital improvements or just maintenance to the property. And that's because you're captive. You can't go anywhere. And they know it. All the way to the other end of the gamut where, you think you're beating the system and you want to be where the action is at, and they're going to entice you. They're going to get you in. And then before you know it, like you said, $1,250 goes to $1,650 or $1,700. So just understand that. Understand the full matter and make your decisions based on that. Now, this next video blows my mind because landlords get a bad rap. Just tell you all the time, they get a bad rap. Not every landlord is a slumlord. Most aren't. Very few, small percentage is, right? But some of you tenants, ooh-wee, y'all get gangster. Y'all make threats. Let me hush. Let me let you watch this next situation and you tell me if I'm wrong in my assessment. Check it out.
I wanted to unintroduce myself.
Okay, nice to meet you.
I'm not sure if the previous owner had told you, we're actually going to be the ones that just purchased the house.
Okay.
I know you have it rented, so I wanted to see if you were interested in stay rented there.
Yeah, I do.
I know the house needs some repairs. We plan on fixing up the house. I just wanted to get in touch with you and set times to start repairing the house and talk a little bit about the rent today.
Okay.
You're currently rented for $1,100 in that house, and it's in Miami. It's a pretty low price in today's market. I wanted to see if you wanted to stay there.
Yeah, I was planning on staying. I don't want to move, and I have been here for over 10 years.
I would want you to stay, but we'd have to raise it a little bit.
Okay, and?
There's houses in that area going for $2,500. You could take the lower end of $2,200.
Are you kidding me? That has to be a joke. $2,500. That's over double my current rent. I can't afford that. I have kids and I'm already working 2 jobs as it is. Where do you want me to go now? We'll burn the house down at this point so nobody gets anything. I should call the cops on you.
If you don't want to stay there for that price, I'm going to have to put a 30-day notice. You could leave peacefully on time, but I definitely can't make it work at that rent amount.
Look, I'm calling my brothers and I dare you to try to pull up and give us the eviction notice. This is ridiculous. I'm not paying over double my rent.
We're going to have to put the 30-day notice and go from there. I wanted to try to solve this, but if you can't go up, I understand.
You think I give a about your investment? I'm not paying that. Pull up to the house, I dare you. We'll be here waiting and it won't be a good time for you. This is ridiculous and you're a con artist.
Now, you see what I'm saying? Very nice, very respectful. Too much if you ask me. I mean, it's your house. But no need to be disrespectful. You know what they say, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. So he introduced himself, new owner, gave the person the opportunity to make a decision on if you wanted to stay or not. Now, here's the deal. Just because you've been living somewhere for 10 years and getting a great deal, tomorrow's not promised in more ways than one. We're talking rent now. Here's my question. What were you doing with all your extra money over those 10 years? Or did you just assume everything was going to stay the same? Hell, you look at yourself, and I bet you she don't look the same today as she did 10 years ago, right? And so we got to grow up. We got to quit expecting someone to take care of us. Did you notice? First thing people say is, what about my kids? Those are your kids, respectfully, right? Don't want to see any kid struggling, but that's why you're the parent. You see what I'm saying? Those are your kids. You have to look out for them. You have to think about those things. If you're younger and you don't have any kids, let the old man help you out. Don't have any if you're not built for it. Meaning you're not willing to sacrifice. Put someone before yourself for longer than 18 years, right? And deal with the things that you have to deal with to protect and to teach the children. They're not dolls or dolls. My wife is from Chicago and they say dolls crazy, but you get my point. You have to take care of them. Those are your kids. It's not on the landlord. And sounds like she was living in a premium area. Here's another thing. I see this a lot in minority communities. Look, man, you shouldn't lose Big Mama's house. If you've been staying somewhere, living somewhere for free 99 for 10, 15, 20 years, that's on you, man, because you see everything else going up. And when gentrification comes, because it's coming, it's just a part of the process, then you want to get on here and, act a fool because you haven't handled your business. That's how I see it. I'm sure you guys are going to let me know if you agree or disagree. But like we said, just be respectful, because if you're not, we're going to move you on down the road. Now, as we wrap this thing up, a lot of you might be saying to yourself, man, is this legal? Can they do stuff like this? Well, I'm going to let this next person answer that question for you.
Hey y'all, I'm Kara. My landlord is trying to increase my rent by $855 a month, and I keep getting this question, isn't this illegal? And the answer is no, it's not. Austin is in Texas. There is no rent stabilization and there's no rent control in Texas because we are a Republican state. If my landlord wanted to raise rent by $2,000 a month, he absolutely could. And you might be thinking, oh, well, Austin is the liberal bubble in the Red Sea of Texas. But according to the Austin Tenants Council, there are no rent control laws for specifically the city of Austin either. This is why, as a financial educator, I always say that money is political, because it's not just about how much you can save or cut back or invest. It's about the world and the systems we live in as well.
Yeah, man. So there you have it. It depends on where you live or what type of tenant laws you may have in place. California, New York, real tenant friendly. Chicago, Illinois, if you watched my channel at any time, I've had an experience myself, my wife and I, where we had a squatter for a whole year. They had the same energy as that last tenant that you heard a little earlier, with the attitude of, I'm not paying because I know the rules. Crazy work. And then you have states like Texas, Florida, so on and so forth, to where if you pay, you stay. If you don't, you won't. I don't see what's wrong with it. we have to get back to taking care of, I was corrected, a widower is a man that lost his wife, and widows, right? Elders that are truly elders, children that can't fend for themselves, and disabled people that are truly disabled. Not a lot of you out here stealing these checks. Hopefully they don't stop. But I digress on that point. We look out for those people. We all need to look out for those folks. And it's times like this when inflation is hitting everybody in every corner. This is why we're hearing this sounding cry about rent and things of that nature. But you should have been crying, in my opinion, even when it was lower, because it put a lot of you all to sleep. Okay. And what most people don't know or realize is that you may be closer to home ownership than you think. As the gentleman said earlier in the video, credit and a down payment. It's not real hard. The question is, do you or have you mentally come to terms with, hey man, it's the game, as my mother-in-law says. You just got to learn how to play it. Do you know how to play the game? And so, as you can see, you're paying someone else's mortgage. You might want to consider paying yours. If you're someone that says, you know what, Robert, it makes sense. Let me see how difficult or easy it could be to get onto the property or the housing ladder. Well, you're in luck because I'm a lender. My NMLS license number is 180100, and my contact information is in the description below. So do what you want to do. Just understand the full matter. My time is up, but I thank you for yours. As I always say, let's be good to one another. Let grace abound. Until the next time, check out these 2 videos. And indeed, y'all stay blessed.